All right, y'all, we are back with another video. I definitely had to bring y'all that. Seems like Zohran Mamdani is getting ready to be deported now. It's starting to heat up a lot now. Because not even that now, Representative Adogg just formally asked Attorney General Pam Bondi to revoke Zohran Mamdani's citizenship and deport him back to Uganda. Now, they already say he's in the running to become New York mayor. As at this point, they say he's winning. And this man right here, he does not like police. He wants to legalize, prostitution. He won't open border. It's just all of this stuff this man supports. We cannot be dealing with this. And now it's starting to heat up. We already know how President Trump feel about Zohran Mamdani. He already said he's not going to support his, he's a communist. And not only that, you got dollar store Barack Obama, Hakeem Jeffries, pretty much admitting that he want illegals to get food stamps and stuff like that. So we have a lot to get to today. So please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Shout out to everybody showing so much support. And shout out to the one that always watches the entire video. Man, I appreciate all of you that do that, especially my last few videos. Y'all been watching the entire video, and I want to thank all of you for that. So please let me know down below in the comment section that you stayed to the end of this video right here and you did hit that like button. It definitely helps me out a lot, and it helps get President Trump's message out. But like I said, it's heating up. Zohran Mamdani getting deported back to Uganda. And we even got even more news on this government shutdown situation as the Democrats again refuse to reopen the government. But they are still blaming Republicans, still trying to blame President Trump, but they are the one that's refusing to reopen the government. So we're going to go ahead and dive straight into this. Now, before we get into all of this right here, I wanted to show y'all this. Check this out by Eric Dawg. Said, wow, shock. New York governor 2026 poll finds Republicans have a chance at winning. And you can see right here, Elise Stefanik. I absolutely love Elise Stefanik, man. I absolutely love Elise Stefanik. I remember when President Trump was, getting ready to pick who he want his vice president to be. And I said, if he pick a female, man, I really like Elise Stefanik. I really do. But she has a chance of winning, and you can see she's over Kathy Hochul, and she's right here. She's over Antonio Delgado right here. So, I mean, can Representative Stefanik really flip New York red? Man, that right there would be massive if that right there happens. But I will keep y'all up to date as more information comes out. But I wanted to show y'all this because obviously right now she is winning. So let's go ahead and dive straight into this. By Nick Source, just in Representative Adogg just formally asked Attorney General Bondi to revoke Zohran Mamdani's citizenship and deport him back to Uganda. It says Mamdani was openly supporting terror organizations prior to becoming a citizen, making him ineligible. Send him back, and you can see this is right here where he wrote the letter right here, to the Honorable Pam Bondi, Attorney General, U.S. Department of Justice, and dear Attorney General Bondi. And like I said, this right here just proved that Zohran Mamdani needs to be deported immediately. So he's not playing around at all. And you can see right here, say breaking. To get Zohran Mamdani deported, Representative Adogg urges and informs AG Pam Bondi that Mamdani might have committed a federal crime if he did not disclose during naturalization that he praised terrorists and despises the U.S. Constitution and supports the totalitarian democratic socialists of America. Mamdani could very well be made mayor of NYC in less than 2 weeks. We have no time to waste. If we deport Mamdani for breaking real laws, we can save New York City and take back our country from the Marxists who want to reduce America to a third world wasteland. I 100% agree with Andy Ogues in which Zohran was caught sooner. The fact he's running for mayor does not change the fact he and likely many other foreigners have committed the same offense. Denaturalize Mamdani and do the same for many others. And that's what I said. I did a video yesterday and said this right here is starting to heat up, that it's looking like he will be deported very, very soon. And it seems like it's in the works right now. Every day I'm seeing this stuff. It's heating up. And right here, by Brian Allen said breaking. Representative Randy Fine has formally moved to begin the denaturalization process against Zohran Mamdani, a sitting U.S. lawmaker and New York City mayor candidate, so he can be deported. This isn't politics anymore. It's open authoritarianism, targeting a Muslim elected official for daring to challenge power. These right here said the Democrat Party has kept going so far left is socialism. Zohran Mamdani from Uganda, Africa, is an anti-Semitic socialist. He is anti-police and is against law-abiding citizens having guns to protect themselves. Our Second Amendment. He must be deported. This is treason. And this right here is what you see. Universal free childcare, free buses for all, city-run grocery stores, no-cost childcare, new anti-police safety department, creating an office of LGBTQIA plus affairs. Then we go right here, say breaking Zohran Mamdani is reportedly in deep trouble over serious irregularities in his citizenship paperwork, meaning he could soon be denaturalized and deported back to Uganda. This is the same guy who built his entire career bashing America and everything it stands for. That's exactly what he's been doing. Now, check out this right here.
U.S. citizenship. Congressman Adogg has said that this man should be deported. And he actually joins us now from a actual moving car. That's a busy politician right there. Congressman, good to have you on. You say Mamdani should be, you have a letter to Attorney General Mamdani demanding an investigation into whether Mamdani should be subject to denaturalization proceedings on the grounds that he may have procured U.S. citizenship through willful misrepresentation or concealment of material support for terrorism. Give us your claim here, sir.
Well, so part of the process when you fill out the naturalization forms, which, you know, here's a copy of one here, is you've got to disclose your activities. So like communism, anti-American activities. And so in 2018, when he was naturalized, he failed to disclose some of the things that he had been doing, one of which was joining the Democrat Socialists of America. That's a communist organization, which quite frankly, at that time, would have disqualified him from becoming a United States citizen. So what we're encouraging to do is the Justice Department to look into the timing of his joining that organization. It would have been anti-American. It would have fit the definition of what he would have been required to disclose, and quite frankly, would have made him most likely ineligible to become a naturalized citizen. So if that's true, then the process could begin of him being denaturalized. Now, that being said, even if we can't prove or dot the I's and cross the T's and get this guy on this and create the template for these other individuals who come to this country, they're sleeper cells, they want to undermine our way of life, they want to take advantage of our generosity. Enough is enough. Look, I'm a proud American. I love my country, love my flag, I love my God, and I love my family. And I'm tired of us being taken advantage of by the rest of the world.
Wow.
Yeah, it's something to see this. You know, we've gotten so complacent with the threat of what this ideology can bring to this country, and it really is scary how it's just celebrated in the streets now. It used to not be that way. Congressman,
Look, the Mamdani thing is it's a disaster waiting to happen. We can't have a communist in charge of a great, supposedly free enterprise, kind of a representative city. So I think it's, if you have a communist mayor, I think it's going to be very tough for him and for the city.
Should have posted something like this so close to the election?
Oh, I think it's a shame that that particular man is endorsing him and very friendly with him. You can see there's a relationship. He blew up the World Trade Center, right?
And Mr. President,
didn't the man you're talking about blow up the World Trade Center? And he's friends with Mamdani?
Mr. President, sticking with New York City, you've talked about the Hudson River Tunnel.
But he's going to explain there might be some dark, deep psychological reason where they want to vote the opposite way. I don't know what it is. But we have to win the midterms. Otherwise, all of the things that we've done, so many of them are going to be taken away by the radical left lunatics. I mean, we're going to end up with a communist mayor in New York. Can you believe it? A communist. Remember, I would always say, we will not have a socialist elected in our country. Remember, I'd say that all the time. And I was right. We skipped socialists. We got a communist elected. So I didn't tell a lie. I didn't tell a lie. I was right. We'll have a communist, not a socialist. But we've already seen the impacts of the dangerous game that they're playing. Democrats are causing delays in our air traffic control.
So, I mean, y'all let me know, what do y'all think about that? So, like I said, it's starting to heat up, and now he gets the letter to Pam Bundy. Then, like I said, we already heard what President Trump said about him. numerous of times. He don't support him. He know his ways. He know exactly what he's trying to do and stuff like that. So let's move this on just for a second, y'all. Now, I wanted to show y'all this because it said just then, Brooke Rollins pummels Letitia James and Democrats, states who just launched a lawsuit over a lapse in SNAP funding, which is running out because they shut the government down. So now you got Letitia James want to try to sue President Trump over SNAP funding when you got Hakeem Jeffries and you got Chuck Schumer, the man who put cheese on a raw hamburger patty, talking about suing President Trump when they the one shut down the government, when they admitted that they using this as leverage against the Republican, because it's the only leverage they have. That's what this woman said.
I mean, shutdowns are terrible. And of course, there will be, families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously. But it is one of the few leverage times we have.
So check this out right here.
100% unequivocally, USDA does not have the $9.2 billion that it would require. There's not just pots of $9.2 billion sitting around. And what's particularly rich about New York saying that, or California, or any of these other blue states that have filed the lawsuit that say, oh no, we're going to go, you guys, USDA, go find the money, is it's their very friends, partners, colleagues, Democrat elected officials that continue to vote over and over again to keep the government closed. Again, shame on them. I cannot begin to understand what they're thinking. Even their own union, right? Even their own federal government employee union, I don't know the exact name, is urging their own Democratic leaders to open the government back up. Listen, Chuck Schumer's getting paid. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is getting paid.
And see, and that's the thing. That's the only thing the Democrats care about. Like Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, AOC, Jasmine Crockett, all of these people is getting paid. That's the reason why they can care less if they shut the government down, because they still getting their paychecks.
But our air traffic controllers not getting paid. Our food stamp recipients are not going to get their benefit beginning Saturday. Our law enforcement, those that are keeping us safe, not getting paid. It's just, it's unbelievable. And I've never seen anything like this. It's surely they're going to change their mind and vote to open any day now.
Yeah, and like I said, they just making it worse and worse and worse. Look at this, just in absolutely pathetic development as Democrat states led by Letitia James sue President Trump to block him from cutting SNAP funds. And they say funds only lapsing because Democrats shut down the government. You can't make this crap up. Vote to defund SNAP. Refuse 13 times to fund SNAP by not opening the government. Sue the people you blocked from dispersing SNAP funds. You yourself blocked. They're failing and the Democrat approval rating is plummeting. Trump will win. And that's exactly right. We all know that for the fact that President Trump is going to win. So Letitia James is just, this woman is just crazy, man. This woman is crazy, ain't got no sense at all. She's already in trouble for mortgage fraud. And the last thing she worried about trying to sue President Trump over something that her party is doing. Holy crap, CNN just shocked out the learning Republican approval rating skyrockets during Chuck Schumer shutdown. Brutal. So they really thought this right here was going to hurt President Trump when the American people know for a fact this is not President Trump's fault. It's the Democrats. They are the one that keep voting to keep it shutting down because they want President Trump to get on $1.5 trillion in free healthcare for illegal aliens. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And President Trump is still winning.
It hasn't. If anything, it's been helped a little bit. Take a look here, the shift in net popularity versus pre-shutdown. When we're looking at the Republican Party overall, that brand actually up 2 points. That's within the margin of error, but clearly it hasn't dropped. Come over to this side of the screen. Look at the net approval ratings for Republicans in Congress. It's actually up 5 points since pre-shutdown. So what we're seeing here is the Republican brand in Congress has actually improved somewhat compared to where we were pre-shutdown, despite the fact that Republicans control. And that's the math that John Thune and Mike Johnson are looking at is, well, hey, why should we give, and electorally speaking, when our brand has actually improved a little bit?
Now, we say their position is getting better. With whom?
Yeah, okay, with whom? So I think it's two groups that it's so important to keep an eye on. All right, changing the Republican Congress's net approval rating versus pre-shutdown. It's rallying the base for sure. Look at this, the net approval rating up 12 points versus pre-shutdown. But it's not just with the base. It's also with the middle of the electorate. Look at this, among independents. It's up 8 points as well. So we've got a situation here where Republicans with the shutdown are actually rallying their base, but it's also something that's not hurting them with the folks in the middle. If anything, it's helping them with folks in the middle. And this is the type of math that if you're Republicans, you like to see, right? Because something could rally the base but alienate those in the middle, or something could rally those in the middle but alienate the base. But the truth is, we're not seeing that. What we're seeing is the Republican brand has actually gotten better among independents, and it's also gotten better among Republicans as well, that Republican brand when it comes to those in Congress. So again, what's the electoral reason that Republicans would give in at this point?
Exactly. So like I said, though, the Republican approval rating is still going up, and they think this right here was going to, hurt the Republicans. So if you check this out, look at this. Breaking for the 13th time. Senate Democrat just refused to pay the troops and reopen the government. It was 3 hours ago. So again, they refused to pay the troops and reopen the government, continuing to use American families as leverage. Look at this. The clean CR put forward by Republicans was blocked again by Chuck Schumer. Needs 60 votes. I hope Chuck realizes the damage he's doing to the county and the Democrat brand. He's already lost the nation's largest union of federal workers, representing 800K people and many Democrats. He's digging his hole deeper daily at this point. President Trump, Speaker Johnson, and Lena Thune would not cave ever. Just absolutely crazy. This is what they're doing again for the 13th time, but yet they keep on trying to blame President Trump and the Republican, trying to blame Mike Johnson. So, it's Mike Johnson's fault. It's President Trump's fault. It's the Republicans' fault. But it's the Democrats who's voting to keep it closed. Like I said, that right there just don't make any sense at all. So let's go ahead and move right in here, because I wanted to share this with y'all as well. It's a breaking. Representative Steve Scalise goes haywire on Democrats for psychotically admitting they'll reopen the government only when planes fall out the sky. Ah, man, I tell you the truth, man.
Schumer and radical Democrats want to use American people as leverage. A Democrat aide said they won't concede short of, quote, planes falling out of the sky. Who are these people? Didn't they once care about this great nation and making it better? And now they think if a plane falls out of the sky, that's their leverage? For what? Goodness.
That's crazy.
Chuck Schumer, quote, every day gets better for us. Who is us? Because I can tell you who them are. The American people are sick and tired of Chuck Schumer and his friends thinking it's a better day for him when they are feeling more pain.
Exactly. And it don't stop there. Holy smokes, top House Republican August Flugger, Mike drops the Democrat Party for potentially setting up the federal shutdown so they could campaign for communist Zohran Mamdani.
Your federal workers, have you not listened to your local communities telling you to stop the nonsense? No. You know what? They're not there. They're in New York City campaigning for Mamdani. Maybe they've orchestrated this so that they had the time to go campaign for an outright socialist. Maybe this was orchestrated so they could go do that.
That's what I think.
Now, this isn't the party of JFK anymore. This is the party of Schumer and Mamdani, the party that bows to the radical left. I hope that everybody can see the split screen of what's happening in this country. The speaker has so eloquently talked about the fact that Republicans are doing our job to take care of families. That over 13 times the Senate Republicans have voted to fund our military, to fund TSA, to make sure our Border Patrol can get paid and all federal workers can get paid.
Exactly. So, I mean, this right here falls on the Democrats, and like I said before, they do not care. But then we're going to get to where Mike Johnson, is speaking about this. But I want y'all to check this out, too, again, by August Flugger. Flugger, he said, drops massive truth nuke on the Democrat Party of 2025. They are refusing to pay our troops in disgusting fashion. And like you said before, I think we all know that today's Democrat Party is not the party of JFK, who once famously said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." Instead, Democrats under Schumer and Clark and Mamdani are saying, "Ask not what you can do for your country, but who can leverage for your radical agenda." I'm thinking about military families right now. I'm thinking about that soldier who is deployed around the globe to keep our country safe, to push back against a threat. And I'm thinking that phone call that soldier probably received this month, in the last couple of days, asking whether or not they're going to get a paycheck. I mean, this is insane. Now, I want to get to this part right here where we got to Mike Johnson, because Mike Johnson absolutely went off. So it said, just in, Speaker Johnson reveals he and House Republicans are working despite the government shutdown to ensure Trump agenda legislation is ready to be passed as soon as it reopens.
Work has gone on in earnest as well. People keep commenting to me, "You look so tired on TV." I am so tired because we're not sleeping a lot. We're working overtime. Here in Washington, our House committees have continued to conference together and do all the work we can to ensure legislation is ready for the floor for action as soon as we get back to legislative session. The House also continues to carry out its essential oversight duties, and you'll be reporting on this all day, but the Oversight Chairman James Comer released a blockbuster report now on...
Wow. Then we got another say, the Speaker Johnson said Democrats demanded for global LGBTQ, and you can hear it.
$1 million for global LGBTQI plus awareness campaigns around the world. $4 million for the LGBTQI plus democracy
$4 million.
grants in the Balkans. They want $2 million for feminist democratic principles projects in Africa. We're not doing that. But again, the question is why? Why? This sounds crazy. It is. Why would they do this? And what we saw on vivid display over the weekend was the re-emphasis of this fact. This is motivated purely out of fear. And what do we mean by that? You saw the Democratic leader in the House, Hakeem Jeffries, endorse Zohran Mamdani for mayor of New York City on Friday. It was an illustration of what we're facing here.
Mm-hmm.
The Democrats right now fear the far left activists more than they fear air traffic controllers, border patrol agents, American service members, and so many others missing their paychecks. They fear the Marxist insurgents like Mamdani more than they fear families and children going hungry from lapsed benefits, keep food on their tables.
They just don't care.
They simply fear losing their own political positions next November if they don't appease the angry far left base right now.
I mean, this right here is this is just crazy, man.
I plus awareness campaigns around the world. $4 million for the LGBTQI plus democracy grants in the Balkans. They want $2 million for feminist democratic principles projects in Africa. We're not doing that.
Exactly.
Out of fear. And what do we mean by that? You saw the Democratic leader in the House, Hakeem Jeffries, endorse Zohran Mamdani for mayor of New York City.
He did.
Border patrol agents, American service members, and so many others missing their paychecks. They fear the Marxist insurgents like Mamdani more than they fear families and children going hungry from lapsed benefits that keep food on their tables.
And again, Speaker Johnson tells, Chuck Schumer them to shut it because, like I told y'all before, Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries was trying to get Speaker Johnson and President Trump to do a backroom deal that they didn't want the American people to know about. So Mike Johnson exposed it.
The Democrats' historic obstruction has now become very clear for everyone. I want to use a little simple, Lily, if you show me this real quick. Just real quick, simple facts, because these things get obscured too much. But there are simple facts about the Democrat shutdown that everybody needs to recognize. Here's 4 of them. First of all, we have to have Democrats to reopen the government. You know that in the Senate, it requires 60 votes to break an impasse. Wait, hang it on, Lily, hold it real here. Keep it close to the podium. I want everybody to see this, okay? We're gonna make it simple. I had my 15-year-old son and some of his friends were together over the weekend, and they wanted me to explain it to them as simply as possible. This is the little formulation, okay? Hey, fellas, remember from civics, you gotta have 60 votes in the Senate. We only have 53 Republicans, so we must have Democrats to do it. The Democrats are out trying to claim that this is all on Republicans because we control the government. We don't control the Senate without 60 votes, so you have to have them. Now they've voted 13 times, those Senate Democrats.
Yep.
Counting the House and the Senate together, they voted 13 times to keep the government closed. And what they're demanding as a ransom to reopen the government are some really crazy things. They want to restore $200 billion in health benefits paid for by U.S. taxpayers to illegal aliens and non-citizens.
Wow.
We can't do that.
We ain't
They
finna do
want
that.
billions of dollars in wasteful programs to be returned to foreign countries for things that none of you would agree with. We are not going to do that. They want $500 million to go back to left-leaning news organizations paid for by taxpayers. We can't do that. And then they want to cut $50 billion from the Rural Hospital Fund that Republicans got signed into law July 4th to prop up health care in red states and rural areas around the country. It's too important, but they want to take that away. They know that we can't do it. And now that they've begun to admit what this is all about, thanks, Lee, put on the thing there. They're admitting what they're up to. Chuck Schumer said every day of the shutdown gets better for us.
That's what he
in the
said.
Democrat Party. And you know, we had the second-ranked Democrat in the House, the minority whip, who just said a few days ago, the end of last week, that we know that this is causing great pain for the American people, but we have to use this leverage. We don't have many times where we have leverage like this.
Exactly, and I showed y'all that video yesterday of that. It was a top Democrat, a female, that pretty much saying, "Oh, I know this right here. This shutdown is hurting families. I know it's hurting families, but this is the only leverage we have." And that's exactly what she said. That's exactly what she said.
And so they've shown you what the real motivation is. But ultimately, why are they doing all that? Let me summarize this really quickly, as simply as I can, for the civic students back home. Republicans are not demanding anything, literally nothing. All we want is to reopen the government. The Democrats are demanding all those things I just showed you on the chart, plus a lot more. When I say they want to send money to foreign countries, this is some of the things that they would propose that the Democrats.
Wow. I mean, just absolutely insane. And then you still got, dollar store Barack Obama, Hakeem Jeffries going around just lying. Just telling a freaking lie. And check this out, by Senator John Thune confirmed that he's been going around Chuck Schumer, going around Chuck Schumer in back channel negotiation, had learned that several Democrat members desperately want to cave and end the shutdown.
Are near a roll point here?
Well, I think there are people who are sincerely want to get this figured out.
Have they
on the
told you
Democrat
that?
side.
That they're ready? They're about ready?
There are, and of course the challenge is the Democrat leadership could care less about this, and Chuck Schumer, they're in a box. I mean, like I said, they are running scared of the far left in this country right now, and that characterizes a whole bunch of Senate Democrats too. But there are some rank-and-file Democrats, I believe, and we have had, as you said, back-channel conversations that have been going on for some time that have intensified here of late, and hopefully that will lead to a breakthrough. But that's what it's going to take. It's going to take rank-and-file Democrats who organically come to the conclusion that this doesn't make sense for them, politically long-term for them either. I don't think this is a winning issue.
It's not. This right here is not going to win them anything. Ain't going to win them anything. Then look at this right here. Just then, purple-haired Representative Rosa DeLauro is being brutally mocked for claiming President Trump illegally is ending SNAP funds when it's the Democrats who have voted 13 times to defund SNAP by shuttering the government. The White House must spend it. What they are doing, blocking these funds from going out, is illegal. Like, I just don't get these Democrats. Bruh. They are still blaming President Trump for this when they the one that shut it down. I just don't get this. And then you got the female that pretty much admitted that they using this as leverage.
Of the Empowerment Control Act of 1974. The contingency funding that we set aside for SNAP is not optional spending. It is required by the law. We appropriated that money for this purpose. The White House must spend it, and what they are doing right now, blocking these funds from going out, is illegal. As a matter of fact, on October 1st, they took $750 million from this fund to deal with paying benefits in Puerto Rico and providing administrative costs to other states. So they acknowledge that this fund can be used in order to deal with staff benefits. There is nothing stopping the Trump administration from making sure that every single one of the 42 million Americans, 16 million children, 8 million seniors, 4 million people with disabilities, 1.2 million veterans receive nutrition assistance in November. And we are at a cost of living crisis with skyrocketing food costs. And President Trump is doing right now is using the fear that so many working people have about where their next meal is coming from as a political bargaining chip.
A political bargaining chip when your own side just admitting that y'all are using this for leverage. And look at the things that Mike Johnson just called out. President Trump is not finna give y'all that. It's just not going to happen. So y'all using this as leverage to try to get what y'all want, and then when y'all don't get it, y'all just want to keep blaming President Trump for this. President Trump is not the reason the American people are starving. Y'all are the reason. Y'all the one who's, voting to keep it shut down. I just don't get it. Then look at this. Little Jeffrey said he want illegals to continue to get food stamps. Listen to Jeffrey. He says people. That means illegals. Because if he was talking about people getting food stamps, he was just like the American people, which he ain't saying. He's saying people, which trying to say all people, including illegal aliens.
As has been the case, and as Angie Craig and Rosa DeLauro, who I'll yield to momentarily, have repeatedly said, the funds have already been allocated by the Congress in a bipartisan way to allow a continuation of SNAP benefits through November 1st, deep into the month of November, and there's additional funds that are available to be reallocated so that not a single person in this country goes hungry. And if that happens beginning on November 1st, it's because Donald Trump and Republicans want the American people to go hungry.
My God.
And that's the problem that we can.
This is what happened when you got a dollar store Barack Obama. Like I was saying, this man can't stop doing this. Every time he talk, all that pointing. Oh, Donald Trump is the reason why the American people are starving. Like I said, just telling lie after lie after lie. Now, the last thing I want to share with y'all is just how these Democrats continue to lie to the American people over and over and over and over again. Just tell lies. Now, check this out. It said new Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker and Nicole Wallace agrees. So they both agree that no Democrat has ever suggested that Donald Trump is Hitler. I don't know what they've been watching. They don't remember the time when, what Hillary Clinton said, what Kamala Harris said, what Jasmine Crockett said, especially Jasmine Crockett. She the main one that run around. Oh, Donald Trump is a Timu Hitler. Oh, he's Hitler. She does it all the time. We done covered the videos, and they gonna sit right here, look at each other, and agree that no Democrat has ever called Donald Trump Hitler. And like I said, Kamala Harris just called him that. When she was running, when her and President Trump was running for president, Kamala Harris called him that. Look at it. Let's check this out.
I haven't suggested that Donald Trump is Hitler. I wouldn't say.
I don't think any Democrat has. I actually, and I think it's a smear that they project back on to critics. We've got to talk about
like this right here, and here go already with Jasmine Crockett. Pretty much, calling him that. Check this out.
That they project back on to critics.
We've got to talk about what it means when you're running for president or you're running for one of these higher offices and you go out there and you talk about beating people up. You go out there and you say things like, I could shoot somebody in the middle of the street in New York and I could still win. We got to talk about that. That is next level. Mm-hmm. Me disagreeing with you, me calling you, I want to be Hitler, all those.
Look there. Me calling you a wannabe Hitler. This woman, Jasmine Crockett, probably is one of the main Democrats who constantly calls this man Hitler. And they gonna sit on that show and say, oh, no Democrat has ever called President Trump that. Republicans just lying.
Things are like not necessarily saying go out and hurt somebody.
You know, one other thing that you'll see next week, Caitlin, is Trump actually reenacting the Madison Square Garden rally in 1939. I write about this in my book. President Franklin Roosevelt was appalled that neo-Nazis, fascists in America were lining up to essentially pledge their support for the kind of government that they were seeing in Germany.
From John Kelly's words, that Donald Trump is someone who, I quote, certainly falls into the general definition of fascist.
Where one side stands for freedom while the other meets the textbook definition of fascism, namely a far-right dictatorial regime like Hitler's Germany or Franco's Spain. Or
look at that, Hitler's Germany or Franco's Spain. And like I said, there's another one. Joy Reid is another one that called him Hitler. And they sit on that show and say, no Democrat has ever called Donald Trump that. And we all know that for a fact. I covered all of it. So when I heard her say that, I knew it was a lie. Now, salute to the person who already got the clips up in here, because if the clips wasn't in here, I would have did it myself. And shows you everybody who called this man that.
Mussolini's Italy, but also white-ruled South Africa.
And to be praising Adolf Hitler?
To be praising Adolf Hitler. Even Karine Jean-Pierre said it. Look at this.
Italy, but also white-ruled South Africa.
And to be praising Adolf Hitler is dangerous, and it's also disgusting.
So just to be clear, when you said we do agree, President Biden believes that Donald Trump is a fascist.
I mean, yes.
He is paving the way to become a Vladimir Putin or to become an Adolf Hitler or a Kim Jong-un. That's what he wants to be.
What I know is in the early days of the Nazi regime, they started slowly but surely taking away people's rights. And what we're seeing now is the very same thing.
My God. That's the reason why we got the internet, man. Every time you say something, every time you open your mouth, it's being recorded and it's going to be on the internet forever. It lives on the internet forever. So you can lie and say you never called this man this. You ain't never said this about him. That's the reason we got the internet, man. So like I said, y'all get in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think about this. I will keep y'all up to date as more information comes out, especially Zohran Mamdani getting deported before he, become mayor. So obviously they say he's looking like he's going to win. But it seems like it's not going to do him no good because he look like he's getting ready to get deported back to Uganda. So like I said, I will keep y'all up to date as more information comes out. Thank you all for watching, especially the ones that made it to the end. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.